Good morning, everyone. In the series of Achieving Sustainable Development Goals and Going to Moon, Mars, and Beyond, we are at the stage of SDG 14. So, what SDG 14 stands for? It is keeping oceans clean and lively, livable forever. Lively, livable forever. And then we'll discuss about the problems. What are those being either aggravated or were existing or been created, and then achieving sustainable development goals and going to moon, Mars, and beyond. Okay, now let us talk about the problems. Sustainability of oceans are under severe threat due to number one, plastic pollution. Whopping 5.25 trillion plastic pieces are in ocean right now, and more than 10 million tons plastics are dumped every year in the oceans. Marine pollution, next problem. 70% of the pollutant debris sink into the ocean besides above pollution. They flow and at the end goes everything goes into the ocean. 70% debris. Fishery collapse. Ocean biodiversity already gone. And in 50 years, no fishes would be left in the ocean if you don't act now. Acidification. 550 billion tons of carbon dioxide got absorbed in ocean and has become 30% more acidic since been absorbed since last 300 years. So ocean has become a bit more acidic than it was 300 years ago straight away. Eutrophication. Asia has highest eutrophication in their lakes, up to 60%, while in Africa it is least, it is 28% eutrophication is there. Now eutrophication, not eutrophication means, the fertilizers, potassium, phosphate, nitrogen, oxygen, they flow via water and rains and goes into the ocean, and then sometimes weeds grow, the algae grow, then oxygen going inside the water stops, and then fishes cannot grow, and so many things happen. This is one of the explanation given over there. Ocean warming. Top 2000 feet of ocean has got warmed about 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit since 1900 AD, Anno or C, Christian era, you may say. Dead zones were 400 in 2008, and while recorded zones in 2019 were 700, which are dead zone, and it might have gone more than 1000 during and after pandemic, and it is not been recorded at present. Out of 16,000 plus key marine biodiversity areas, more than half, that is more than 8,000 marine biodiversity areas, are not either protected nor taken care, or they have been left like, oh, that is a jungle area or something like that. Ocean sciences budget is just 1.2% of the national research budget across the countries. It is insufficient. More than 3 billion people live on the oceans. Their livelihoods is dependent on the 3 billion people on the oceans only. And so they try to exploit oceans more and more in so many ways. In pandemic, mask, plastic bottles, sanitization bottles, hand wash bottles, they got thrown into the oceans during lockdown, and they were not collected even. So the problem has aggravated, in fact. Now let us go to targets and indicators pertaining to SDG 14. Target 14.1, preventing and reducing marine pollution of all kinds by 2025, which should include the land-based activities and marine debris and nutrient pollution as well. What are the indicators? Index of eutrophications means fertilizers, I already said, flow into the ocean. It is part per billion ppb or microgram per liter. It is calculated. Then there are more calculations, of course, that how much eutrophication equivalent is calculated by how much C or how much oxygen. C means carbon or oxygen or hydrogen or nitrogen combinations, and their equations are also there. And it is also calculated as a phosphate equivalent PO4, phosphorate and oxygen 4 times. I means PO4. That is the calculations. So that is the index of eutrophication. Next is plastic debris density in 20. In 2020 it was plastic debris 0.88 to 1.01 gram per cubic centimeter, and plastic density in the ocean. On the surface there were 2 items per meter square of the surface. Per meter square, 2 items were definitely plastic. And below 10 centimeter up to 1 meter, 50 items per meter square were there. So out of these both, in the both the cases, I mean, whatever the pollution is there, 98% were plastic only. Target 14.2, so we have to reduce that. Now coming to target 14.2, by 2020, manage marine ecosystem of ocean to make them productive again by taking whatever measures possible to make them sustainable. Now indicator 14.2.1, number of nations using ecosystem based approach to manage marine areas out of 193 United Nations member countries at present in 2022. Target 14.3, reducing ocean acidification by international cooperation. Obviously ocean belong to all. Now the pH value of water is 7 when it is neutral. So average marine acidity pH value is calculated at different sampling station, and if it is more, then it is definitely acidic, or I mean 13 14 that is in fact basic, and less 7 6 6 5 4 they are acidic. Okay. Target 14.4, regulate the fishing so that fishes are biologically sustainable and are available for fishing as per their life cycle and at their maximum yield. So that when their maximum availability is there, then in fact small scale fishing should be allowed. Okay, indicator 14.4.1, proportion of fish stock within biologically sustainable levels. Otherwise, this generation will consume everything and next generation will be left nothing. We'll see that one, this in next point as well. Target 14.5, by 2020, conserving the 10% marine areas consistent with national and international law. Indicator 14.5.1, coverage of protected areas in relation with the marine areas. And definitely due to lockdown, people could not serve for this purpose. Target 14.6, by 2020, removing subsidies on certain fisheries as integral part of the World Trade Organization's fisheries subsidies negotiation, which instigate, in fact, if the subsidies are given, then certain kinds of fish, in fact, they are illegally been fished. Then some are unreported, they are unregulated fishing, and overfishing also occur. Indicator 14.6.1, number of degree of implementation of international instrument aiming to combat illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing. Simple. Whatever the corruption is occurring, that we have to stop. Simple. Target 14.7, by 2020, improving the sustainable management of fisheries, aquaculture and tourism so as to economically benefit the small island developing states and the least developed countries, SIDS and LCDs. LDC, sorry. Indicator 14.7.1, proportion of sustainable fisheries by GDP in SIDS and least developed countries and all other countries as well. Target 14.8 now. Intergovernmental oceanographic commission criteria and guidelines can help in transferring knowledge and technology related to marine biodiversity and helping improving the research in this area, and that can benefit the least developed countries and SIDs, DCs as well, small island states as well. Now indicator 14.8.1, proportion of budget dedicated to marine technology by the total research budget in that country. Suppose 10 million budget is overall budget, out of them 1 million is there, that is the proportion for the marine technology. It is very less in fact at present. Target 14 point B, provide access for small scale artisanal. This point we I said we'll discuss later. Individual poor farmers who fish 100 fishes, 1000 fishes per day, like that. Like we have marginal farmers and big farmers. Marginal farmers having 2.5 acres of land, they are marginal farmers, and big farmers who own more than certain acres of land. Like here also, artisanal, that is individual poor fishermen and fishers are there who fisheries the carry out, and so we should provide access to them for small small scale fishing and then fisheries to marine resources, and then help them to go to market. Complete value chain service should be there. Now indicator 14.b.1, degree of the implementation of legal framework upon regulatory framework to protect and benefit the small scale artisanal fishermen. How much degree it has been given to them? I mean, has it been raised so that the help is going at the grassroots level or not? That is the degree of calculation here. Target 14.c, enhancing the conservation and sustainable use of ocean, implementing international law as per the UN Convention of Laws of Sea, UNCLOS, sorry, UNCLOS, and as per the paragraph 158 of the Future We Want. This is very good book. You just go and see the Future We Want. Fantastic things they have given. Paragraph 158 you should read. Indicator 14.c.1, number of countries making progress on protecting, conserving ocean resources for their sustainable use as per the again UN Convention and on the law of the sea, UNCLOS. Okay, so I mean everything can be crux whatever is the SDG 14 is given in one of the small proverb that is in Marathi, my own mother tongue. Jal hates Jivan, means water itself is life, water is life, and life depends on water. So many meanings out of that. Jal hates Jivan is there. So my request is to let us protect and sustain our ocean and its resources so that humans and the biodiversity in the ocean, they live forever. Thank you very much. If you have any suggestion, kindly let me know. I'll try to implement it, because to err is human, but correction of err is makes the humans better. Thank you very much.